I'm sat here today with Ashay Milan Ilic. Ashay describes his first name is given to him by the spirits, and it means Lightbringer. Ashay is a shaman. He is the most powerful embodiment of healing, personal growth, and becoming the highest version of oneself I have ever witnessed in my life. He describes he guides people on their way to free themselves and to love. I say he does this at a rapid pace that can't be imagined, but can only be experienced. You just have to take a courageous leap and be willing to do a session with him.
Am I living with JPH?
Ashay, I don't know if I ever properly told you about my journey and how we actually came to meet. So can I tell you a little bit about it now?
Yeah, sure.
I was on a bit of a soul-searching mission. I'd had a very big breakup, and I was taking quite a gargantuan drive from where I lived in Paris through Spain to the south of Spain. So I was supposed to be going to Valencia, and Barcelona was on the way. I'd left where I was staying at the time, which was just south of Paris, and was driving by myself. And I had intended not to see anyone in Barcelona. It was good. I think I was there for 3 days, and I really wanted solo time because on that trip, as I say, it was soul searching, and I just needed to be kind of alone. But I really needed to get my hair cut. So, and it was really weird because I don't know why, I had to contact loads of different hairdressers, and in the end, I was coming to see you. When I was booking the hairdressers, I didn't think, I'm going to go speak or meet anyone, because you just think, I'm going to get my hair cut at the time, right? So then I came in and we started speaking, and you said something to me that I just found fascinating. And I think you were telling me about how the world is becoming more feminine. And that really made a lot of sense for me, and I never heard anything like that, because in this world where, we talk about different communities like the LGBT community, and we have a lot of female empowerment, it just really made logical sense, and nobody had ever really spoken about it. And then I think you started telling me about some of the work that you do, and I said, I'd love to try a tree hugging session. That seemed like a really nice, sort of like gentle, playful, exploratory thing that I could try. And then, I don't know why, but you suggested to me that we do a deeper session. And I was a bit unsure, and I don't know why, but it felt like almost because you'd said it, and we'd built like a layer of trust almost in that conversation whilst you were cutting my hair. When I left, and you'd already suggested that to me, you'd been really kind, and you said, you don't have to decide now, you can have a think about it. But I basically ended up having to change all of my plans because I had a hen do to go to, changing my hotel to stay an extra night, because I can't fully even describe it now, but it just felt like something I had to do, and that it's something I wanted to do for me, that there was going to be something at the other side, and I deserved something. And I don't know, I didn't think those specific words at the time, so there was a lot of sort of fear. Even walking to come and meet you, where we were doing it, there was like a moment where I was like, I wonder if I can get out of this, but you're so lovely, so I kind of obviously like came and we did it. And I mean, so much has changed since that time, and it's been groundbreaking. But I mean, how do you know how did you know to suggest a deeper session rather than tree hugging at the time? How do you know?
You know, for me, it's like everything happens for a reason. So when people come to me, the most time, I mean, even in this time when I was like, how I describe it in the old matrix, doing my hairdresser and living the other part, my call of the healer, of the shaman. It depends of the moment, but if the people are open and they're speaking to me, and the most time they're really fast open up to go deeper in a conversation or to show themselves where they are now in life. And it's not really always my decision. I'm connecting, I'm feeling your energy, and then I'm going with that. So, and to recommend, I mean, to hug a tree, it's also an interesting idea how people are, maybe we're talking about this later.
Yeah.
No, but it's a natural process, you know. If I feel the energy and if I feel a person is ready now to transform more, so sure, I'm offer, hey, we can do a session, feel, and then a lot of things can be transformed.
Yeah, because at the time, I didn't necessarily feel I was ready for a transformation or know these things. But now, given like a year and a half later, I feel like I'm doing a lot of work which involves giving back to people, and I've done so much work on myself. You just must have known, like I can tell now, you must have just known that there was some work to do, because even the words in the conversation that we had, I don't feel as if I was, you know, being open or talking about myself. I feel as if more I was asking you about your work and kind of clinging out of fear or something to tree hugging and these other things. So that was a year and a half ago. You were living in Barcelona. Now we are a year and a half later, and we are sat here with Vedra behind us.
Yeah.
Definitely. Do you want to tell us a little bit about where we are and what it means to you?
Yeah, we are on Ibiza.
Yes.
I was a lot of time in Ibiza. I was already 2014 living here, but with different movements and energies. I went back to Germany, then to Barcelona, and the call brings me back to Ibiza. It has a special, for me, a special energy, because I really felt from the first time coming here, even my spiritual connection is much stronger. And I think it's the energy surrounded even by the sea. So it's like we have the water, what is really a big transformative tool of nature to bring, to connect different energies. And especially here as Vedra is one part from Ibiza, or even one part, they called it like the old Atlantis. But for me, you know, it's always important that when you come to a space, and even people telling a story about spirits, about there is a beautiful energy or things have a history, you have to go there to feel it from your heart, what it is doing with you, to discover this energy, to discover this spirit or this feeling of the place. And here, especially as Vedra is for me, it's like a big warm hug. So it's here you're receiving energy. So it's a part of Ibiza where you can come here to meditate, and it's really like you're receiving energy, your battery is going loaded again, and it's like a beautiful exchange. And it's the third magnetic field of the earth, so it has his mystical part.
Is that how you would like describe Ibiza to a lot of people? Because I know before I came and I said to people I'm going to Ibiza, and their instinct is you're going to party. So how do you kind of tell people it's not just that for you? How do you explain the difference?
No, sure. I mean, this is like always, everything has both sides, two sides. And sure, Ibiza is known for this party crowd, but on the other side, it's the total opposite. We have so much spiritual people here. Rituals, the nature is beautiful, it has a lot of power. We have the north part, who is much more tranquilo, say like relaxed, you know, people going there to enjoy the energy of the island, to enjoy really the feeling and to enjoy themselves in a way of holiday to feel them. Going sure to a party is also, you will feel yourself, but it's a total different way. But at the end, it's always like what we are looking for. We're all looking for something. So if the people come here for party, or they're coming here to relax, it's the way of to find something at the end in yourself, kind of.
No, because we talk about energy. I really live by energy now, but I don't think a lot of people know what that word means. How do you describe energy? Because you do a lot of work with energies.
The easiest way to describe it with feelings.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like when you enter a room or you enter a space and you suddenly feel not good. So this is energy, what is there, and you notice it through your feelings. Or you come somewhere and you're like, oh wow, it's beautiful. You just feel like your energy rise.
A rush of energy.
Feeling.
Yeah.
So this is energy. I mean, everything is energy. We are energy. The stones are energy. So it's like sometimes for our normal brain, how we think, not easy to understand. But everything is built up of energy. So everything has a vibration. Everything has this sense of life.
Yeah.
Everything. So,
yeah.
And if we come to that point, I think we will understand more things much easier.
No, I think that's beautiful. That's actually the best description of energy that I've heard, is that it's feelings. So for you, and I also think it makes a lot of sense, is there is more energy here near Vedra, or positive energy, or I know it's difficult to explain, but
no,
yeah.
Good. I think it's a different form of energy.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it connects you much faster.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you think about you're like in the inland and you're in a big city, and a lot of happening. We have the fabrics, we have electricity. A lot of companies, I don't know how many people, so sure, if you go somewhere where the nature is more pure, where everything is more free, where everything is not so interwaved with different other energies, so then you can feel much more the energy of this place.
It's
and
clear.
Then you connect much faster. Yeah? It could be that we're in the middle of New York, if you can handle it by yourself however to put like all the surrounding away and connect yourself and center, you can feel there also a lot of energy. But depends always on yourself. I mean, people coming here even on Vedra making nice pictures because it's written somewhere and they don't connect to the energy.
Definitely.
You know, it's not good or bad. It's just a different form of awareness and consciousness. And this is why we are doing this.
Yeah, no, it really sank home for me, and I think I mentioned it to you when we were speaking even yesterday, is I've now I've been traveling a lot for the last year, and I went to Bali where a lot of people go and they go to party, but there's also a very, spiritual, or it's considered like a vortex, and I see parallels of there with here, even when I've been doing my own meditation here. And then I said to you as well, I went to Glastonbury recently because a lot of people go there and they really let loose, and I have a real association to that space. So for me, that's how energy really works, is that there's places that have a particular energy that maybe you can get closer to, where you, as you say, can get closer to your feelings and get out of that city thinking mind, but there's just spaces that allow that more. And for you, that's in nature, right? That's where it really comes. Could you explain what a shaman is? Because even that word, for me, I've taken my own interpretation, but I'm sure you can explain it perfectly.
I think there are like different ways to maybe people have a different idea or even explain. I mean, the shaman, the name itself, shaman, it's from the Siberian tradition, and the direct translation is someone who see.
Okay.
And for me, it's more someone who see behind the first impression of life, and someone who is connected to different spirits and energies. And it's more like, me, myself, even with my name, it's like a canal between worlds to help people,
Yeah.
you know, to heal and to guide with this spiritual world, you know, to bring these two things together. This is more or less my
Yeah.
explanation of what is a shaman.
Well, I mean, one thing that came about to me when I was looking into the research of it is that a lot of different cultures have things that are essentially could be described as shamans, but different cultures, different countries, they use different words. So some people call them religious leaders, some people call them counselors, some people call them healers. But even though the specificities of the work might not be the same, in essence, would you say a shaman is a kind of healer?
Sure. I think what the point is, it has like one of the oldest traditions, therefore the name shaman, you know, like, I mean, if you go more to the north, the Druids, you know, you have different expressions for it. But for me, what is more important, this way of healing is really related to the natural movement of this planet Earth.
Yeah.
So for me, it's earth keepers.
Okay.
So it's like really medicine, women and men who are following the tradition of the pure being of the essence of life.
Yeah.
What was from the beginning of time here before even maybe we have been here.
Yeah.
So the elements, the world, the earth, the animals, you know. Working with this is, from my perspective, like the oldest tradition or the purest form of healing and way of shamans or healers. Don't matter from which tradition it is. So to come back to the natural source, and then we come back to life and love.
But that, I think, that's a really nice way, and I've never heard that before, to put it, is that it's to take it from Mother Nature, from the earth. Because one thing I think people, you know, when they're struggling in this modern world, they do go out to nature. A lot of people I know, they spend 6 days a week, 5 days a week living in central London or living in New York, and then they go out every month, right? So they're connecting to nature, but they don't know why. And everybody loves nature. So to take that shamanism comes from nature almost, and is it earthly elements or something, and then you come up with what you do, or how does the earth relate to the work that you do? Could you describe that?
It's more or less, it's one energy. It's even not, you know, to describe, but you know, I did before. I mean, even I'm coming from a family of healers. I was interested in a lot of traditions, and then more or less when I get the call from the spirits to finally go my shaman way, it's like this. What I was looking the whole time, what is in front of me, and I think this is for all of us. This what we are searching is when we go out in nature, and it's maybe a bit if we are only for 6 days and 1 month in the cities, we could take more time in the nature.
Yeah.
But the more thing is like, you know, we're coming back to our natural process of our organs, of our breathing, of our being. This is where we are coming from. So it's like, it's not so spiritual, or it's not so, you know, far away. You know, sure, I'm talking about dimension and energies, but when you break it down, it's like a pure natural being.
It's who we are.
Yeah.
It's who we were born to be.
But we forget, you know, in daily life, in business, in making money, in computers, in focusing always on the outside, we're cutting off our nature, and this is what we are in the inside. And this is what people are searching in the outside instead to search from the inside out. We can search in the outside. There are a lot of things that can help us, but at the end, you can always have to come back to the source, to your inside, to your heart. Like when I connect to Mother Earth, like the heartbeat from the earth and our heartbeat, one of the easiest training to go in the nature, put your hands on the earth, breathe, and allow yourself to synchronize the heartbeat of the earth with your heartbeat. And you're coming back faster to your center.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people now understand that when they're stressed, or even I say a lot of people, they're saying, you know, they have an anxiety attack and somebody will call me and say, this person's really stressed. And then I'll say, just ask them to focus on their breathing. But you're almost taking that deeper and more natural, right? So they're very relatable kind of ideas. But coming back to that idea where you're saying, you know, a lot of people, you know, they don't always, they're not always connected to those kinds of things. And, you know, you've recently moved to Ibiza. Could you tell us a little bit about your journey and becoming, you know, fully a shaman, from hairdressing, and kind of a little bit about your background?
Yeah, I mean, I was born in Serbia.
Yeah.
And I was living my first 7 years with my grandmother, who is coming from an old tradition of healers. But this was a line of the women, medicine women, so it was going on to teach only the female side. But I was living long with her, so, and even her sisters are doing really big work with healings. And then I have from my mother's side the grandfather from the Siberian tradition, which is from the Siberian shamans. But he died really early, so I don't have no physical connection with this part. And I mean, you know, growing up, coming with, I think, 7, 8 to Germany, from the nature into the city,
Okay.
even there. So when I look back, you know, the story is, I got really early the call with 20. I meet my first teacher, but it was a woman who was teaching regression therapy to go to past lives and to connecting with angels. And this is when I start even my first meditation trainings. And then somehow from this point, when I mean, I was aware as a kid with a lot of things, but then a lot of things happening and these things go away. So in a moment, somehow life brings me back to connect with this first teacher. All bit by bit, the rememberings and the things are coming back. And then somehow through my life, I mean, in the moment I start like learning hairdressing, I start my path from on the spiritual way.
Wow.
And somehow it was like really like kind of both in the same time. And what was even nice, I mean, even to be in this world, which is related to money and things, somehow this work, this normal, traditional human work, allows me to dive in more on the other side into the spiritual world.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
Yes, because, you know, sure, you have to travel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the normal thing. You have, even till now, you have to pay for things.
Yeah.
I was using more or less my when I look back my whole life, my work to support my spiritual growth.
Okay.
And then it naturally comes that I meet one. I was 2 years with a guy he was a student from Osho, with big groups. Then I met Egypt woman who somehow we got back to these old traditions in this time. So somehow it goes alone.
I suppose what I'm getting to is I think a lot of people, you know, they're in jobs or they're doing things and they're in this city world, or they're not 100% sure what they're doing. And maybe they're looking for something else. And I'm really intrigued because I know now you're full-time, you're doing your shamanistic work, which you were called to do. But were there like periods where, you know, you were doing something else and you felt disconnected, and how did you get pulled back to be able to fully channel your path?
No, sure. I mean, I was a really successful hairdresser. So I was working for big brands as a stylist for fashion shootings and for shows. So
Yeah.
I was like really you would think the completely opposite of this what I'm doing now. But it has everything is a combination of both. But no, it was a time where I was working so much and I have my own studio, and I have a moment where somehow everything in this part like breaks down.
Yeah.
And I could not go on like this anymore. Then I took time to really go in nature to discover. I remember that a friend invited me to do a painting course. So it's the first time that I was really start like to paint and to express. And then at one moment I understand through these paintings what is happening in my life, you know. Then I start also doing I did a really interesting form of art therapy. And in one meditation comes the information that I have to go the way of the shamans.
Wow.
It was in a meditation like someone is telling me really clear in the ear, you have to go the way of the shamans. And I was like kind of, okay, what is going on here? Even connected to this, in this moment, I was like kind of, but how life's happened, 3 days later, I meet this guy from Peru. And then I walk with him 2 years, the way of the tradition of the Quero shamans of Peru. And it was like, I mean, at one point everything so fast, and it was sure intense. But you know, for me, down deep in myself, I always knew there is something more. And I never stopped to search for that, even with my normal, you know, when you're in the city, you're living like your life, you go out, there was always like something, there is more. And I always questioning, you know, like, are you really happy? Are you really you? Are you really live? And then it's like, no. And then things are changing. And in the moment I start to go this path anyway, my life changed completely.
I think a lot of people, and definitely me included, understand that feeling of, I'm doing life, da 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 da, but deep down, I know there's something more. And you're not sure, and you're a bit afraid, and you don't really know what you're supposed to be doing. For like other people that may feel like that now, or have felt like that, what kind of gave you the courage or enabled you to take that step, for example, to go do these 2 years in Peru?
Okay, somehow for me there was no...
It came naturally.
Yes, and it was clear I have to do it. I mean, sure, you know, we have always, I mean, even in this time, one part who is like kind of, oh no, but it's more, you know, this how we grow up, how we get manipulated with, how you say...
the human things get in the way,
yes,
the
you know,
world
the
things.
school, the structure, the depends on your family.
Your roles.
All this kind of... where you are then later living like a mechanism, even not thinking more about it because it becomes so normal for you. And then to understand at one point, but it's not me.
Yeah.
And I think for me, in this point, it was clear I have to go. That was not... I mean, I still did even after a part like doing hairdressing, but it was clear for me I have to go this path because, you know, for me it's not important when people coming to me even now for the teachings, if you feel a call to dance, go dancing. If you feel a call, I need to go to this holiday, especially to this place, go. You know, these points, but we all have these little moments where we really feel this deep energy pushing us, you know? And we don't allow us to follow this path. But this is the most important, what can free us. It don't mean that we all have to become healers. But you know, to try what their heart is calling you for. And it could be a dance course. You meet someone who brings you to something else and you never know. Or you go to on a holiday, or you go even to a theater, and maybe someone say in the exact moment where you needed one word, and it opens your consciousness.
Absolutely. And I've like personally had that myself, and you've been part of that. In fact, you were the instigator of the journey, if I'm being totally honest. But I am certain, like historically, when I was younger, I had other moments where something deep down was saying to me, you know, you can do more. There's something, you know, you're worth more almost. But I didn't follow those callings. And so it was 100% clear for you when you went to Peru. But, you know, if other people are having these ideas and they're not sure, what would you say to them almost to help them? Because people aren't connected always, right? So do you think there's like a trick or something, or is there anything you would recommend?
No, I think there is no trick. You have to go on. You have to go on and to try. And if you feel you have to meditate. If you feel you have to go on a trip to Nepal or somewhere, go to the trip. Follow your instincts and don't question it. And
trust.
Trust. And if you're not sure, then try. I mean, since the last 10, 20 years, you know, when I started this journey, even it was like really kind of secret everything, we have now meditation courses, we have a lot of books, you have a lot of information. So try to find your way, or to look what is really calling, or what is the tool for you, or what helps you to go deeper there inside. And there is not a special recipe for everyone, because we are all one, but also different. You know, you have to find your way, but to trust and to don't give up. Yeah, to believe really in yourself. And if you don't, and stop playing games. If you don't feel comfortable in your work, change your work. Yes, but it's difficult. Yeah, maybe, but you know, the most people are somehow, they're not happy, but they're still living in this bubble of, to somehow survive, instead to allow themselves, okay. And you know, for me, it's the difference. There are people living on this world who don't know in the morning if they will survive the day. And somehow then this society who is kind of having the newest iPhone in their car, it's a bit, you have it easier to change. But then also you have to understand, you have to, what is in our tradition, you have to, we would say, to die to get reborn. You have to let go a lot of things to really understand what you really need in your life, what makes you really free. And at the end, it's not a lot, because it's already there.
That's beautiful. So we need courage, I suppose. Keep trying, never give up, and trust almost. And I think you've kind of already summarized that. Is it does being in nature kind of help us trust more, or what is that what it is for you? Or?
Claro, sure. I mean, you know, this is one of the, you know, even with the training, like when I give the training, one thing is, if you have a question, like feel it and then go for a walk, and you will receive the answer automatically. What happens if we're in the nature, because the natural environment is still in the natural flow? It helps us again to come again to our natural flow, to listening to the birds, to listening to the water, to listening to the natural vibration of life is pure healing. And if you see, if we are going in the nature, it's green. What do you think? Our heart chakra is always represented in green. So this is pure healing. Archangel Raphael, who is green, what is representing healing. So, I mean, if you go into nature, it's pure love, it's life. I mean, if you see a tree, I mean, it's, for me, it's like, wow, it's amazing. And it's still like, you know, going to nature like a little kid. You have to come back to this to feel this beauty which is surrounding you, and to help you to grow and to heal. And we all have to go back to nature. Because, I mean, you know, even in the cities there are nature, but there are so much other energies, so it's kind of bringing you out of, or back out of yourself. So if you're in nature, and the best alone, you come back to your source, you come back to your heart.
Yeah, definitely, because one thing I've been practicing a lot is, even if I've got a really busy schedule, is now I always, rather than just going, kind of doing rather than being, is that I purposefully take a break, even if it's 5 minutes. And that involves going into nature, because you almost switch off, which helps you kind of, instead of being, as you say, like, I mean, I think it's hard for people to understand things in this way, but it just makes so much sense to me now, is in one sense, when we're on our phones and we're having phone calls and we're having meetings, we're almost kind of dead, right? We're not really living. And then when we go and we look at things like a child and we go into nature, then we start to live, because we're being rather than doing. So I like that idea that you say, is that think of things as if you were a child, and almost out of that, would you kind of agree there's children have a more courageous kind of approach to things? So when I'm coming back to that idea where we're afraid and we don't want to trust and we don't want to try something, we don't want to quit our jobs, kids just kind of, they just do it, right? So I think that's another really nice tip that you've said. Could you explain a little bit, should we talk about more specific things about the work that you do in a session? You said at the beginning, we talk about healing or working with family lines and your ancestors. How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, when a person comes, is a lot of time different. Depends what is the problem. Yeah. In the healing sessions, the most time, I mean, sure, I'm talking a little bit to see what is the idea of the person, but the most time there is sure something behind. Where is the seed where all this grows? And a lot of times, sure, we're working a lot with the family lines or with ancestors, because it depends how you grow up, in which environment, what happens with mother and father, how it affects you. All ways of traumas, of getting hurt as a child, or even a parent die, you know. There are a lot of parts, but even like ancestors, so like when we go back in history, like maybe your grandfather did something, and it's an unspoken in the family, it will affect children after children, generation after generation, till one person is healing and transforming this part.
Until the person, like, so are you saying that we can have sort of things that are stuck in our minds or thoughts or our way of being that we're not aware of because it goes back,
Yes,
and we won't remember them, right?
absolutely.
And how do you go about working with somebody on that? Because that's got to be a difficult thing for someone if they don't realize.
No, even a lot of people don't remember traumas. You know, when things happen, depends on which level. If we're talking about abusing, if we're talking about, when a child lost the mother young, you know, there's sometimes things like separated in the subconsciousness or going even in another part. So in the work is when a person come, we talk a little bit, the person lay down. What I'm doing is I start working with the chakras.
Okay.
In the chakras, we have it's like a computer. Memories from past lives, from childhood, blockages, everything is like a computer. It's there. So opening this chakra and start to cleaning, I dive into the parts where people may have had a trauma as 2 years old, to transform this energy and to heal. So it's like we are taking this negative structure system out of your system that you can heal. Yes, people coming with different problems and backgrounds. So I would say like the classical form is people are staying in life, don't know what to do, or stuck in negative emotions or having fear. So they come to me and we're talking about their problems. But what is for me most important is, you know, sometimes we have an idea of what is our problem, but I try to look deeper. Where is the seed where this problem starts? And it can be related to family, you know, to ancestors. When you grow up, what happens in the childhood? What did maybe your grandfather in the family line 3 generations after? So, because this is also an effect, you know, it has to heal. It follows, I would say, like natural laws. So if something is not transformed, it will go on and pass by from generation to generation if we're going with this family healings. But depends, it could also be that you bring something in this life from another life.
Okay.
So this sounds maybe for a lot of people a bit curious, but the point is when we are working, and I'm working the most time with your chakra system, it's like a computer. There is everything what is kind of affecting you, positive or negative.
Okay.
So in opening the chakra, I can transform negative energies, forms, and you can allow yourself to come back to the source, to your heart, and to align more with what is really your purpose why you are coming here.
So I just want to kind of understand, because you know, when we've done sessions together, they've been very organic and you've kind of led the way. Do you approach each session with each person very differently or organically, or is there a rule to how you do things?
No, more or less, sure. There is I would say, like a classical form how I work.
Yeah.
But in this work, every session is different.
Okay.
Because more or less, every person brings a different energy. And then the outcome is also like different. Because what I also, for me, is really important, what I explain to the people, it's not me who is healing you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm opening a space and I'm connecting you with your inner healer. And what you are ready now will be healed and transformed. You know, the form, like a decision from me would be a manipulation. I don't know if you are ready. Maybe I will see more things, but if it's not the time now, maybe you need first to work on 1, 2 other things, that then maybe 1 year later or 2, we will come to another point, what is to be transformed. So it's at the end, a healer from my perspective is helping you to heal yourself. It's not me who is healing you.
Yeah, a lot of people that I've worked with, and you again were the first, I think, say that. And that's so empowering. It comes back to what we were saying in the beginning, is we have to take the courage and the trust and belief in ourselves and come and work with guides like yourself. But I think that can help a lot of people. I mean, it definitely helps me because I listen and trust people that I work with or that in any remit. But to kind of give the power back to us is like hugely empowering. So we have the choice, you know, it doesn't have to be this daunting task to come and go and see a shaman. But, you know, how do you know what kind of work or whether to go into the chakras? Do you kind of speak to people for like 10 minutes first and then?
Yes, we talk, but it's, you know, through, I mean, even when I'm talking, I see different things happening. Maybe we are talking and I see already someone of your family line is standing there. So I somehow know, okay, it's related to something from the family. Or in the moment you lay down and start working with the chakras, the spirits are guiding me. So I'm cleaning a chakra, and on the same part, I'm diving in a past life of you, and I can see where the problem really comes from. So, you know, it's like a bit maybe difficult to also explain, because during my work, it's like there is so much happening. I'm focusing on what I'm doing, but I'm getting informations from different levels, from different spirits. Therefore, also opening this holy space and connecting to different dimensions and energies. So it's on one way super simple, and the other way it's super complex.
But that's life.
But you know, in this complex of work, there are coming so much things together, and for me it's normal. For me, it's like I'm working here, and then maybe a spirit animal is telling me something for the next. So
but we're talking about it in a very sort of multi-dimensional spiritual way. Because I come from a production background, which I told you when I used to work in events, is like I would be having this conversation, then I would be thinking about this thing, thinking about, you know, when I used to work in fashion, it's like I'm working on the socials, I'm working on the catwalk, working on the models. So it's not the same thing because I'm talking very much in my head and thoughts. But, you know, a lot of people are here and present, but also elsewhere, and you're just kind of tapping into those things and bringing all of them together, I suppose.
Yeah.
Should we use like maybe an example? Like, do you have I know you've done work with you know, women who have struggled with getting pregnant. Do you have like an example of somebody that you're okay to share the details of and how you? Yeah,
I mean, I can share. You don't know the person, so that's not a. No, in fact, really, I've worked with a lot of women with especially this problem to get pregnant, and the cases are different. But with one was really interesting that during I give her the session. She tried, I think, for over 5 years, and she was losing the babies. So then she came to me, and we worked. And during I was cleaning her chakras, I saw one on her past lives, where she was living, where her children was taken away for the slavery. So, and then in this life, she decided to never. Or the pain of her was so strong that she said that she never want to be a mother again. So then, like, lives after, well, she is sure don't know more what was it about, trying to become, and it's not possible. And in the moment we are transforming this or healing this pain from her past, one of her past lives, she could opened herself up to become a mother. And she has now 2 kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
That idea, though, you know, of past lives and that she didn't have children in past lives, that is an idea that a lot of people don't necessarily resonate with. So when you told this particular woman, I noticed this from a past life, how did she take that? Was she quite open to this idea?
She was quite open. I mean, okay, she I think through her journey, she tried a lot of things. So I think for her, she was, I mean, specifically the most time when people are coming and I'm speaking or explaining what happens, but to be honest, I'm not always explain everything because this is with our normal brain, you know, we will to touch what we learned. It's not, this work is not always to understand.
Yeah.
I'm doing it and that's it. And even after, I'm not giving nobody like, okay, now you will have children. I can do things, and whatever happens after happens. You know, it's not. And at the end, again, on the person by itself, which choice it make.
They make
in the life, you know. So we are like somehow, even like when I say like a canal between worlds, between dimensions.
Yeah.
So.
No, but that's nice because like I'm somebody and as you know, I come from a place where I like to have control. And definitely in sessions, I haven't understood everything, but that's actually been a big learning for me is that letting go and trusting kind of the universe or the world and being okay with those things. And in the same way, you know, if you have deep-rooted you know, trauma or something, even just from your grandparents, it doesn't even have to be, you know, ancestors or past lives. I suppose if you haven't resolved something, people are probably more open to accept these, you know, more alternative ideas because they're looking for something different. And so that's why we have to eventually open up to other kind of things like your work. Then it's really interesting that you've been able to work with people with real physical, you know, like that's people would say that's a physical thing, you know, I can't have a baby, so is there something wrong with me, you know, with my placenta, is there something wrong elsewhere? Have you had any other sort of, done any other sort of work where people have like physical issues and then they've...
I mean, the most work what I do is really related to trauma.
Yeah.
Trauma therapy. More people are really like in the mind, not happy in their life. I was working with a guy he has a problem with alcohol.
Yeah.
So this was, and even he could like, after 2 sessions, he changed his whole life. But it was like, again, he was prepared for it. I mean, he was on a point that he tried things and he comes back and it really affects his liver. So he has really problems.
Liver, yeah.
Yeah. So, and after the first session, he was like, also, he goes out and he was like kind of, I could see that he was even struggling with what we did. But then somehow, like some month again, he comes again. And then he was like, yeah, some things are changed. No, and then we start again, and then I didn't hear him for a year. Yeah. And then at one point he sent me pictures that he moved with his family into the countryside. He's now doing farming and all he was also working like in a really like, I would say like typical computer related environment. He's doing this still from home, but a half part of his life he's out and working on the farm. And it was really, it's sometimes so amazing to even after hear what happens to the people, because I do my work and the people I see, okay, but the people I don't know what will happen with them. But I get a lot of time, I get the feedbacks at one moment and it's like, wow, it's...
Yeah, because you said earlier, like sometimes it can take 1-2 years. And in a lot of things, I've always been a slow person because I'm so detail orientated. I would rather do it 100% right. And so then things can take me longer. But the transformation with you, it's not, I cannot believe it takes 1 or 2 years. And actually it's something I wondered whether we would speak about, because I think with traditional therapy, you know, people can do, now there's a lot of work where you can do that, you know, short bursts of like 6 or 12 sessions, and then it takes like 1 or 2 years for that to really settle in. But I mean, the work is rapid. Even for me, the work takes no more than 6 months right? And as I say, I'm a slow person, so I'm surprised that you would kind of say that it takes 2 years.
It depends on the person. I mean, we are now,
Yeah.
I mean, since the energy of the earth changed, I mean, everything goes faster. But it's again on you. If you are prepared, if you are ready in the moment, I mean, with one session or even with one decision, you can change your whole life.
Yeah.
It's not, I say a lot of times, depends where the people are, how much layers. Some people need longer. Some
Yeah.
people are changing super fast.
Yeah.
That depends of the moment. But we're seeing this work 20 years ago, the energy of the earth is changing, so we are more open to transform faster, yeah, and to understand faster and to go faster and to go back to our heart,
Yeah.
to feel ourselves more, and then we know what we have to do. And it's
Yeah.
also, I think, more and more people understand we have to stop to play this game.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're listening to inner voice and you're like, yeah, but maybe later. No, I'm going with friends. I'm doing this. No, this is the time is here now.
Yeah.
I say we don't have more time for it, but it's more like stop with this game.
No.
It's not
yeah.
serving nobody of us.
No, if we want to do something, we should do it now because it's like tomorrow never comes, right? But what I do really like about that is actually, like, I thought way back when, I thought it was like, oh, it's this big thing, like I'm going to see a shaman, it's so da-da-da-da. And then like, oh, you know, and then I no longer, like now I speak about it openly because I think the work you do is amazing. But what I really like is that, you know, it doesn't really matter where you are in your healing or in your life. You know, you can come and do a session with you or just even read about shamanism if it really is daunting for you. And you can do it at any stage you're at, and you can go for a rapid, quick thing, or, you know, you can take it at your own pace. So it doesn't matter really, which is actually really nice, I suppose, way to think that you can work with all different kinds of people.
Check us out on the Am I Living YouTube channel.
The process is more or less the same. I work with the chakras to transform these parts of our energy system. What is happening after this? It's called in a shaman, we're traveling in the down earth or in the up earth.
Okay.
But you maybe can translate like in the subconsciousness or in the higher consciousness.
Okay.
So, because when we have a trauma, let's say abusing, part of our soul goes away, that we can go through this, that we can survive. But this part of the soul later we need to bring back, that we are aligned. So what means when I'm working with people who have like the trauma with abusing, I'm traveling in the down earth. It's like I'm traveling into this part which they put away because of this pain, of this shock, what is happening to them. And in the shamanic world, you would explain it like the chambers of pain, of negative transformations, yeah? And it's like to bring back the soul part and to integrate it, that the person can come back to the full potential.
Wow.
The soul part, but maybe people, I don't know how you would understand the best. It's like, you know, maybe like the happiness goes away. You know, to secure you that you can go, that you have to be hard in this moment. And then, you know, like people, when you grow up, you're not really happy, you're hard. So I have to bring back this happiness because you lose it through this, what is happening to you as a child.
No, but
Just
I think,
to make a transformation, no? A little bit to understand.
No, that makes total sense because I think actually a lot of people, you know, we're describing it as are disconnected from their soul or their subconscious, but I think a lot of people these days, you know, they're lost or they don't feel happy, and you kind of bring the subconscious back to the conscious so that you're together. That's a very simple, nice way of putting it. And then, so when you're working with the chakras, how does that work? Because for me, I actually don't know too much about chakras, and I think people think, you know, we know about chakras and this, but For me, I trust, but a lot of that goes over my head. You have to focus on the heart or focus on the head. You know, how does it?
Okay, I mean, I can explain a bit, but sure, you have a little bit to read about it, to connect with this, to understand it completely. It's like energy centers in our physical body. And we have more than only the chakras in the physical body, but this may be for another time.
Yeah.
And in these chakras has different, we could say like the first two chakras, the sacral chakra, and there is all the informations from childhood, past lives, and all. And this is the problem why when something there is not transformed or healed, we are not rooted. So we are too much in the head. So we are too much in the outside. In the moment we are healing these parts, the energy can flow and we get rooted, so we are more in the center of our life. Yeah, then it depends. Heart chakra, this is what happens to children when they're losing parents really early. So they're closing the heart chakra of the pain. So and then living their life, meeting could be, as an example, meeting always a partner, and the partner goes.
Yeah.
And again, they're feeling alone.
Yeah.
And this is related to the losing the father or the mother as a child. I'm open up the heart chakra.
Wow.
Which is related when I open the directions to the condor, because it's representing the wings to fly, you know, to open up, to let go and to see everything from a higher perspective. And this is the heart chakra.
Wow.
As an example.
No, but I think that really resonates. Yeah, I mean, are there any other areas about the kinds of work that you do that you want to talk about? There was one area which you do work with vaccinations. That might be very interesting for people, and it's always gone over my head.
Yeah, I mean, it's not only that we can take things out what is from what happens in life. I was one month with one of the last Inca priests in Ecuador. In the rainforest, and he taught us, or even I think it was already there, but he teaches us how you can take out energies who are putting in our body from medications, vaccinations, drugs, all this stuff what is not naturally. It's like a living identity.
Yeah.
Who is a part in your body. So I can take this out, depends how much is it blocking you, or how you say...
I think that makes sense. It's
yeah,
blocking you.
Blocking you, or like disturbing your inner system, or even bringing you back, or even cutting. What is happening with some vaccinations is they're cutting the chakras that you are not aligned.
Yeah.
So because we have like 12 chakras, the other are out of the body, where we are aligned with the universe.
Yeah.
And this cutting and some vaccination do the thing that we're losing the emotions to being connected to each other. And yeah.
No, because I think a lot of times, as I say, people don't know what it is that's getting in the way, but they might be blocked. And so is that where the chakra work and this vaccination comes from, right?
Yes.
And again, how do you know what it is that's blocking? How do you know if it's chakra or trauma? You just know.
I know. This is, I think,
Power.
the gift what I have from little, and this is, I think, things what you cannot really learn. And this is the more pure you are as a canal, the more informations you get.
Yeah.
And even there are sometimes, even in the moment I'm talking with a person and the session is after, everything is happened.
Yeah.
Sometimes even in the, because the exchange of energies is getting faster. I'm doing the session after, but sometimes even the talk, 5-10 minutes, everything is done.
Yeah.
The rest is more to calibrate and to bring like the illumination process into the body. The illumination process is the end after when I'm finishing the session. I'm going into the Viracocha. This is like the 8th chakra outside. It's like the pure light illumination. And I'm bringing into the person the pure light of the source. So it's like that you kind of awake everything back again.
Yeah, I mean, your name, as you say, Ashay, we say it means Lightbringer.
Yeah.
And how do you translate that? I mean, I understand it from my point of view that people feel as if, maybe they're unhappy, and that can be darkness, right? And for me, I have a real thing about light, and I'm always looking for light. And when I meditate, I get to a place of white, bright light. But how would you explain that light, bringing it in? What does it mean, even?
No, for me, it's like really simple. It's like this canal. I mean, the more pure you are with yourself, acting out of love, the more you are like canalizing light, because we are light. But, I think there is also one point for me now, what I really feel, darkness and light, everything is good.
Yeah.
That's, again, a kind of what we create, like, oh, darkness is bad, light is good. Everything is okay.
Yeah.
But if you are in a dark place and in pain and in disillusion or aggression, this makes you sure getting darker. So then you have to bring light into this to awake, to remember who you really are, until you go back into your full potential. Darkness in itself is not a problem because it's darkness.
Yeah.
It's like pain. It's a man, this is pain, interesting.
Yeah.
So, but when you go into this pain and you lose yourself, then it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
So every time to see everything like, say, from a higher perspective, from out of the heart, and not to identify yourself with all these things.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. Darkness doesn't have to be this thing. Your pain and your depression or your whatever it is that you're going through doesn't even have to be a major thing. They're all just it, and it's about acceptance and love, as you say. So then what does sort of 24 hours in Ashay Lightbringer, what does that look like for you? How do you bring love and all of these ideas into like a day?
Oh, but the first thing what I do in the morning, I think now for sure, over 20 years, it's I meditate. I'm meditating every morning, and for me, I have like a simple ritual to connect my heart chakra with my roots to the heart chakra of the earth, and then I'm connecting it to Alkilon. It's like the central sun of our system.
Okay.
And then expanding this light to all over the planet, to all humans, animals, nature. And this is like a ritual what I'm doing every morning. And I think it's not really related to a shaman. I think also even the idea maybe also, this is very interesting too, what is a shaman? It's a normal person like everybody else. I mean, it's nothing, okay, having these gifts to do this work, but sometimes even people, I was invited to open like a healing circle from a day. And then I was early there, so I'm helping people. And there have been some girls asking like, but where is the shaman? When is the shaman coming? And then they say, well, but he's there. And I was cleaning the dishes and washing, and they look at me like, oh, he's a shaman. I don't know what they're expecting maybe dark, long hair, and I was like, and then they come to me, oh yeah, oh, can I hug you? And I was like, yeah, okay. So even this is for me, I'm doing the normal things what everybody is doing, but maybe sure with another awareness and receiving faster more informations. For me, it's like I can come into a restaurant and meeting friends to eat, and at one point I have to change the place because I'm feeling a destructive energy on my back, and I cannot sit there.
Yeah.
Because then I change. There are things what is sometimes even not easy with having this all, because like feeling so much energies from other persons. I mean, after all these years, I can separate this from yeah. But my daily life is not always going around like I'm not the healer like 24 hours. I am if somebody needs me, but I have I'm start writing a book. I'm giving now my first online course. I'm meeting with friends to go swimming. I love to do ecstatic dance. So there are a lot of things what I'm doing. It's not like
no, but that's beautiful.
24
that's the way
hours praying and being in nature. Sure, I'm looking now for a house to be completely in nature. But this is what I'm coming from. I'm coming from a family. We were living on a farm with animals outside in nature. So this was for me my whole life clear that this will be the point where I will become again. But I love fashion also. But it's with all this stuff, at one point you understand to be aware of you doing, like not buying like stupid on, like I don't know, sorry for the stupid, but it's okay, I'm looking what I'm buying, who is making this. I'm going to a little shop, I'm going here to the market to support the people who are working here. You know, it's a point of awareness, and if you work with healing, you try, or more or less, it's normal for me in every part of my life to live this healer.
Yeah. Your intention is always from love.
Yes.
Is basically what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes. I think for all of us, the intention is from love, if we are aware or not. If we are not from love, it's because we forgot or something happens to us. I think nobody, even the people doing bad things, it's related because something starts to grow in them at one moment and it goes maybe in another direction, what is normally meant to be. But at the end, as a human being, we want to discover it.
Yeah.
And we want to transform and heal it.
Yeah.
And this is also the idea, like to be in the light, to be enlightenment. This is what we are. We are here to be humans and to act out of our hearts.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's beautiful. I mean, thank you. You're teaching a course now, something new that you've been working on.
Yes, it's the first time that I'm doing really online training. Normally, I really love to work with people in life. But so it's nice how I see friends of me really to connect and to help other people who don't have maybe the money or not living, I don't know, on which part of this world. Yes, I create like, it's a 6-month online training, or it's like a 6-part training. It's based on the shaman tradition, but it's a mix of, I call it holistic shamanic training. So we are doing breathing, we're doing meditations. I bring people to the point what shamanism is, how you do rituals, how you clean yourself. The idea is more to give people tools for their daily life, what they can use if they're losing themselves, feeling pain, to remember, okay, who I am, to center them fast back, and that it can be more clear what is going on. It's not to become a shaman, because this is anyway not my decision. If someone is feeling this call, they will know that I have to go this path. This is a training, it's a mix. I mean, the main base is on my shamanic tradition, what I'm living or going. And it's only like we have a workshop one time in a month where I teach or give all the informations. Then the people receive the recording. They receive 2 videos with the healing, and they receive with the ritual, what they have to do by themselves to discover, to feel, to reconnect to nature. And after the 6-month program, you have all these tools what you can use. And I will offer, for those who are interested really to go deeper into the shaman practice, here on Ibiza, a 1-week training.
Okay.
Where we will have the Munai reads. What means these are like secret initiations for people who really want to go the path and to help other people and to work like healers.
Yeah, wow, so much in there. And then how much is that to do the 6-month course and the 1-week course? How much does it cost?
Oh, the cost now is really low. It's, for me also, you know, I would love to do more or less everything on donation, to be honest. That this, I think we have to open up for that every people can reach this. I see really famous people who like work, I don't know, since years, taking thousands of euros for a course, but it's all okay. Everybody has to do it by themselves, how they feel. I mean, my course is, the whole course is 270 euros, so it's 45 euros a month. And the idea was for me, I mean, if I can open it up for more people, it will be also okay for me. You know, it's not related if I somehow with my sessions go on to cover my costs for my life. I would love to do it completely on donation, that people who struggle with money or not able to even go to these courses can be a part of it, to heal themselves and maybe to discover, to heal their surrounding, and even maybe to go the path as a healer. And even this is open, even with my sessions, it's always also on my website. If you're struggling with money, ask me, we will find another way of exchange. It is an energy exchange. I have friends who told me like, this is too cheap, are you crazy? And I say, maybe I'm crazy, but I would love to open it for more people, you know?
Yeah.
Because I remember this time, sure, what I say before, my hairdressing career, with this money, somehow I use it for all my spiritual way.
Yeah.
And I did courses that have been super expensive because I have to fly to this place, I have to do, you know? But to open it more up for more people, I think that even in the future, I hope that the point money is not more existing.
No, yeah.
You know, that we don't have to talk about this, that we have to, people do, one want to work with nature, one want to create this, one want to paint, one want to be a dancer, and that we support each other and we go out of this slavery of money. I mean, money is a beautiful energy, but what it's made out of it becomes really destructive and becomes really into a negative form. And this is, yeah.
So for 200 and how much is
70.
270 euros, you can do so much work, seeing as in one session you can do so much, and Ashay's talk through all of it. That sounds amazing, and I would love to even sign up myself. We have a little tradition in this podcast, which actually you've kind of touched on already, whereby we finish on just asking, are there 3, 4 or 5 things that help you to be you, that you can give as little tips for people that are trying to, you know, make a change or just, you know, grow? You touched on meditation. Are there 3, 4 or 5 things that you could summarize on?
I mean, for me, it's the meditation. For me, is to be surrounded with positive people. Yeah? But it's not, sure, everybody else has problems, but you know, people who are really aware, hey, I want to change something. To have a nice surroundship with friends, that is super important, or family. Yeah? For me, it's like my friends are my family. And absolutely nature. Nature and animals and even what I think for everybody on its own, to trust really your feelings.
Yeah.
They will bring you to these points. And what I was saying before, it could be little things. If you feel, I want to dance, put your headphones, go out in the nature and dance alone.
Yeah.
And celebrate life and smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So simple, the tips. And honestly, like even through this like couple hours that we've been speaking, I feel like everything's brighter in the colors. And so I honestly feel so grateful that you agreed to do this with me.
Thank you.
Thank you. I suppose we need to close the holy space.
Yes.
Hit the follow button on the podcast platform where you're listening to this. It helps us produce these episodes, take you guys to those wonderful places if you're watching online, and hopefully is sharing with you some inspiring nuggets of information.
Father Sun, Grandmother Moon, brothers and sisters of the stars, Intergalactical Federation, light workers, big spirit, you have so many names and you're the one without a name. Open this space to heal and transform and to be aware that we are one. One heartbeat, one life, one light. We are our children. Guide us. Please open up this holy space. Ho!